Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron, La Résistance, and we are looking at the spying aspect heavily in this playthrough, and we are trying to rescue our captured spy in Britain. And then I'm hoping to steal more blueprints. Beer, but at least I got some more, right? Now, here's operation. Do I have to completely re-prepare this thing now? Steal blueprints, prepare. Oh, damn. Well, stealing blueprints is not overpowered in this. Well, that is for sure. Let's do that. Okay, excavations. Now, it's still a little, not massively. Okay, well, we'll do some air research. So used to playing Black Ice or some other mod than this. Okay, yeah, we moved a bunch of you over here just to get you over here quick. Okay, you're part of that other general's command, so you're gonna come down here. You guys are gonna come to here. Oh, close enough. We probably should be producing more units. I think we have the German border held. And I think we probably have enough to invade Poland effectively, though. You max out. You can make someone your puppet. Takes forever to do that. Okay, Airy, very good. Yeah. Like I said in a few episodes ago, but earlier today, I really love the new mechanic, but I'm not saying that it doesn't need, in my opinion, massive tweaking. I like the idea that spies can be arrested. Looking at the war in total, we definitely saw some rescue attempts. I think a few successful rescues of spies. I'm thinking mostly Britain rescuing Britain primarily rescuing some of their spies. The Panay incident. Stupid Japanese move. Where I think one of the attempts was actually done by an Mosquito aircraft bombing. I think it was a Dutch prison, and not only did the spy that was held there get out, I think a bunch of other, resistance types that were in the prison got out. United Kingdom dominates. Uh-oh. I thought we were ahead on that. Uh-oh. We got a hit on this. Okay, we will dismantle the fort. Speed, civilian factory use, removed. Fort level 1. Okay, but what? Why would I want to do this? Land fort and coastal fort construction for 180 days, but it uses 3 civilian factories for 180 days. No, I don't do math well. So I don't know the 3 civilian factories cost for 180 days versus 20%. I don't know if that's any good. Okay. Not saying it isn't. Paramilitary training. Countries taking our production deserve only the best. Okay. Okay, we'll do that. The real question, why aren't you upgrading your agencies with your civs? I have been. How is eating dogs any different from eating any other animal? Dogs are our friends. I don't eat my friends. Maxed out by 37. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You know, though I've saved it as a meme of a billboard, you know, and they do sort of have some pets. And then on the other sort of spectrum, they have animal, you know, farm animals, chickens, pigs. You know, well, if you eat these, why don't you eat these other things? And then somebody goes in, you know, normal, disaster, starvation. You know, when do, you know, people start eating different? Or when this one person would start eating these different animals? Yeah, some wacky extreme. Hey, you're locked in Stalingrad or no, Leningrad, and it's starving, and you know there's a dog, you can go kill it. Yeah, whether you would do that or not. Yeah, we all know most people would, even if they don't want to admit it. And no, I'm not for eating dogs. It's purely under certain circumstances things get extreme enough. So yeah, that does happen. Von Rundstedt and Von Rundstedt and Von Rundstedt. He's taking over the Eastern Commands at the moment. Yeah. What? Why aren't you getting under his command? Oh, click down here probably, I guess. And up here, which we have not. Blastwitz. There we go. I've not given his unit, and yes, I'm a micromanager. If you haven't realized, I prefer to do all this manually. Those that are sort of new around here. It goes back to my old tabletop playing days, and having to do that. Not just maybe wanting to do it. MP38s, okay. Well, out of here. How many new subs do you have? And you know, Arno, I don't really know right offhand, and we can take a look, but in this playthrough, it's quite honestly a low priority for me. Because I'm looking at other things. Not that we won't get to the war, we will. And not that we won't do sub-operations, we will. That's no doubt. Just... I want to wait until it's at least 1940 to start doing that one. Okay, reconnaissance. Now, well, mentioning again what we're focusing on, let's upgrade some of our capabilities here. Okay, I guess we can only upgrade one at a time. what more do we need? Okay. Yeah, more motorization is a good idea. And we can upgrade that. Oh, yeah, we don't need to go too far there. AZADs on some of that stuff, but yeah. If maybe I'm missing something in some of the... Well, you see, we have an emotional attachment to our horses, Lum, so we think it's bad to eat horses. It's not a dietary bad thing, it's an emotional thing, because we have a romanticized attachment to horses. I partially grew up on a ranch. I'm very happy to eat cows after my experience of dealing with cattle. And very happy to eat them, but don't want to eat horse. So yeah, we have, because there are partners, and even more so traditionally than dogs, because we rode horses. Horses help maintain our living, and we get some level of emotional attachment to them. At least I know it was hard losing one horse that we had to put down, that I knew most of my life. So yeah, now it was very old and needed to be put down. But yeah, it's not a thing. Okay, horses are considered prized animals. Well, yeah, those are like good racehorses too. So yeah, no, horses are not. Yeah, well, we don't. It's not necessarily in America, you know. And again, I've sort of teased Derry. America has a lot of different traditions, and if you really start to get to people that are somewhat multi-generational out here in this part, you definitely horses are very much part of our culture, and it's not just because of watching John Wayne movies or something. Again, I was very much around ranching and horses around this part. Um, in this part of America, it's not so much. Horses, I don't think were quite as a commonly owned thing. Um, so I'm looking at some of the movies and things about here. Not that, I mean, lots of people owned horses, but I don't know if even most farmers necessarily, because they had mules and other things, and a lot of them are fairly poor. Um, yeah, a lot of horses still, lots of horses, but out here, because of your survival needs to live, needed horses more so to get around. And yeah, it's partially romanticized. I will totally admit that, but I did grow up around them, and those of us think of them as Donkey Sprout. How you doing? Hello. Show how you set up garrison. You still have no idea. I still have no lower resistance in territories. Okay, well, there are some new mechanics, but generally speaking, and you can definitely, the kind of general here, and really until a defense area type of situation that you want to do, and then they will move around to keep resistance lower. What you need to do for dealing with resistance is have units that have military police in them. That's one of the key elements. And then have those units in occupied territories, and that will help keep your resistance down. I right now can't easily go in and show you a lot, but that is a key way. The auto garrison, yeah, most if you set up an area, but you want to use garrisons that or divisions for garrisons that have military police in them and that are able to keep the area resistance down. Yes, they do have some new videos that are good, and I've actually used some of those to learn some of the new mechanics myself. And most of them are fairly short. They don't talk on about other things like I do, so they get to the point a lot quicker. How is our current logistics for tanks? Okay, light tanks, trucks. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to add and add. Let's add and add. I didn't take that. Took and add and add. There we go. And then let's grab it and train an Alpenjäger division. And we're going to put that down here because this is where we're starting the mountain divisions. And Toy Jet's going to be playing War Thunder along with us. Well, not with us right now, but yeah. Hopefully tomorrow. Oh, raw chicken. Oh, I would not eat raw chicken. I just would not. Hey, thanks for following. I would not eat. Oh, and James is saying in West Coast, yeah, lots of horses. Yes, James. Sorry, I'm not always watching the YouTube chat as much as I should, but you're not entirely forgotten. So yeah, it just, again, when armies are starving, traditionally they eat their horses because partially they can't necessarily feed their horses, but they also have manpower needs, food. So at least we didn't get that damn turquoise color this time. And yeah, here. There we go. So, harsh leader, cautious. So, yeah. But, yeah. It's just chicken particularly, and birds generally, at least the ones that I'm experienced, really should be cooked, if at all possible. Other meat, yeah, eating raw isn't quite the problem, but there are reasons to cook things, which one of them is to make them more digestible, generally speaking. Okay, so machine-assisted encryption, machine-assisted decryption, which we're going to do to help our attempts at cryptography here. Decrypting, hopefully that will help that. Operations, we're in progress. We, oh, this whole, what, well, I don't know. What are you still on? I don't know. Oh, he's back in Germany defending against subversive attacks. Well, man, this, like I say, I love the new mechanics, but this is, thank you, Horn. Thinking about how I want to put this. Sometimes I go silent, and I know I shouldn't too much, but do prepare collaboration in government missions. Yeah. text stealing definitely went on in World War II and the time around it. Probably not as much as in spy movies and other things as we like to think of it, but definitely did happen. And having it in the game is a good idea. But so far, we've needed a minimum of basically 3 agents to do a text stealing operation in Britain. Twice now we've had agents captured or killed, which has delayed things. We've gotten 1 tech bonus out of all this. It doesn't seem to be worth it. I'm just, not that we should have a cascade of so many techs raining down on us, it's just incredible, but... And I can't replace this, I can't just write off a guy. So he's captured. Yeah, fine, he didn't kill himself. He's still taking up a goddamn slot. So I've got to rescue him or some crap. That seems ridiculous to me. I don't know, people. What do you think? Steal smaller... Yeah, but what tech is a smaller country gonna have? Okay, Okay. Prepare a collaborationist government. Okay, well, I need two agents. I only have... Well, I guess we can... Well... Yes, we're gonna start preparing a collaborationist government in... No, I don't want that. No. Cancel this crap. No, cancel. How do you... I wanted it in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, people. Netherlands. Oh, I guess, what do we have to? Spy agency, Netherlands. What am I missing here? Build network. Here. Oh. You need to... No, we don't need to upgrade. We just need to forget about doing British networks. The Marines and infantry... Ah, cool. We have to have a network to do operations. Yes, I'm... Why can't I have a network in 10 different countries? Paradox. What? Ah! Hello. Well, why don't I have 50 spies? Why don't I have 50 goddamn spies? And yes, I think if I get a few more of these agencies or whatever, I will get more slots. I'm trying not to be too ranty. I don't want this to become Gamers Rant channel. I'm trying to calm myself now. What the hell are you thinking? If I have to develop all of this everywhere, every time, all the time, how, you know... I don't want to come off looking like a fool, so I'm trying to think before I speak. Okay, operations. Yeah, there's different types of operations, and I'm trying to think from various experience. Do you need a network, and what is a network? You need to have, shall we say, familiarity with what's going on. If you were to say, put me in Poland tomorrow, you know, if I were to, you know, depending on the, well, even this time, get off an airplane, whether it's a modern jet or a, you know, an older airplane in the 1930s, get off the plane in Poland, and let's just presume I speak Polish. But that's it. I just happen to speak Polish for some reason. Went to school. But I know nobody, don't even, you know, I have a map to walk around Warsaw. I wouldn't be you know, a terribly good spy. You know, for whatever it may be, whether it's to rescue an agent, or where is he being held? How are we going to do this? Or steal some government secrets, or whatever it might be, prepare a collaborationist government. So you need a network, absolutely. But wouldn't preparing a collaborationist government be setting up the network? Now, so I'm also trying to, okay, so I'm also trying to look in the game. If we had unlimited amount of spies, why don't we just do maximum spies everywhere? You know. So you need to have some limitations on this. I get you. The whole point is to make contact with the rebels in the nation, or people who, yes, yes, and that's the point. That's the point, Ari. And so this guy here, what's he doing? What is he doing? He's creating a network. But you know, my network to set up a collaborationist government will be different than my network to steal naval secrets, or whatever it might be, orchestrating a coup or something. I don't know. And within a country like the Netherlands, there were people that were almost literally waving banners saying, "We want to help you spy in our country." Yeah, they were, Dutch fascist types. So it's sort of like, you want to spy, contact us at this address. Here's our flyers, we're passing them out. So yeah, that's the whole. Ah! Ah! Hello. Why the fuck is this here? Why the fuck is this here? Yes, I'm starting to get pissed now. This is becoming a rant episode. Why the fuck is there an Anschluss button here? Why the fuck is there a Demand Sudetenland button here? Podcat. I don't know if anybody wants to. And I have ways of contacting him directly, but why the hell are they here? Now, I know why they were here originally, and your explanation, it was in public to me, made sense, because I asked, is because, hey, if you want to have the fate of Czechoslovakia, we've set the system up so the player knows what you need have a roadmap to need to get to here. To, have the fate of Czechoslovakia. You need to do these things first. Sounds great, as opposed to, like, oh, I'm not going to do Anschluss, not realizing that it will keep you from getting the Czechoslovakian stuff going. So you have the path to go to get there. Makes perfect sense to me. Okay. Where is union with the Netherlands? Why don't we have the union with the Netherlands? Or union with Denmark? Or union with Norway? Or union with Tibet? Why aren't they in the game? Well, why not? Well, you can just use this new spy feature. Why don't we have spies networks happening here? Why don't we have them happening here? What the hell are you thinking of? Because that is what all this was. This is a big super spy game by your new goddamn spy stuff. That's all this is. You have a tailor-made situation to have your new spy mechanics, but you don't use any of it. Why? Why aren't you preparing a collaborationist government here in Austria? Why? Now, I have events designed, starting with the old version of Third Reich events for Hearts of Iron 3, updated to, now can't play it with any of the modern versions of Hearts of Iron 4, Third Reich events that are designed to integrate with this. So you go, oh, I want to do, let's say I want to demand the Sudetenland. Okay, well, first you need to go the idea of, oh, well, we're going to start an operation to provoke the Germans here, because all the spy mechanic didn't happen here. And so why not start 1936, have spy operations going here and here in Austria, because they were going massively going. So you have real life, real world spy shit going on in this terms and propaganda operations going on in these regions. It's a massive effort. The public face of the one down here is Franz von Papen. We're all familiar with him because he was the vice chancellor and former chancellor of Germany, vice chancellor under Hitler. We all know who he is if you paid any attention to this stuff. We all know who Franz von Papen is. He is a Catholic German, a very strong Catholic German. And he is put in charge of this because of that, of he's being Catholic and he wants to do it. And so he goes in and tirelessly works to get Nazism acceptable in Austria. At the time, in 1936, National Socialism is outlawed because in 1933, an SA man assassinates the fascist prime minister of Austria. So the Nazi Party and the SA are banned. Those still exist, but banned. It still exists big time, but are an illegal organization banned in Austria. He goes in his first steps. It only happens after 1936. I forget the dates right offhand. To get them unbanned. And so this is a full court pressure. So you have this wonderful new mechanic here. I'm not even looking at you, chat, right now. I'll check it in a while. You have this new mechanic. Why the hell did you not use it for here? You could easily have, and we start out with Skorzeny. Otto Skorzeny is a starting spy in this game. What's wrong with that? Anybody? Can anybody tell me what's wrong with having Otto Skorzeny? Hi, Eat Boy. Sorry if I'm... He was killer. Yeah, no, but why can't we have... Why should we not have Otto Skorzeny at the start of the game? Can anybody tell me that here? This is a test to see if anybody knows who Otto Skorzeny really is. Not just have you heard of him, but do you know who Otto Skorzeny? Arno says no clue. Okay. I own books that he wrote the foreword to. I mean, they're not like signed by him. Nope, not just started. I don't know what his rank was in 1936. Or 1937. He wasn't a German. Otto Skorzeny was not a German. He was an Austrian. I believe, I'm not absolutely sure, because I didn't look into that quite that detail, but I believe he was a member of the Austrian army. Yes, Spiraling gets it. He was an Austrian. That's part of the reason he hates and has great contempt for the Italians. Now, he rescues Mussolini, but and one of the reasons he gets sent on that rescue is a meeting with Hitler, and when all the other sort of commando type leaders, oh yeah, no, our good Italian allies, blah 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 blah. No, he says they're trash or words to that kind of effect. And Hitler, who shares that opinion of Italians, even though Hitler's an Austrian, he hates the Habsburgs. He hates the Habsburg Empire, the Austrian Empire, but he doesn't hate Austria, the place. And so it was labeled as the most, yes, he was later on, 40, 45, especially after the Mussolini. Oh, no, never heard of him. Oh, he's a very famous SS commando, and I have books that he wrote the foreword to on my shelf over here. Again, not signed by him or anything personally, but were books written while he was still alive about the SS and whatnot. So yeah, I definitely know who Otto Skorzeny is, and known for many, many years, since, like I say, he was still alive. And no, I don't know his biography, like in super detail, but in general, and I can look up things. I mean, not just on freaking Wikipedia, but really look up things about him in some of my books. But I just don't remember it all. Not claiming to have that kind of memory. So no, he shouldn't freaking be there because he's an Austrian, and I'm presuming a member of the Austrian army at the time. I don't know when there are SS members. Not Waffen SS, didn't exist yet, but SS, there's a whole Austrian SS branch. He might have been associated with that before unification, before Anschluss. Might have. But I don't know in detail, but he should not be there at start, in my opinion. So you have this whole mechanic, this whole stuff, and you have two massive, and they're different in each case, operations for taking over a country, and you freaking leave it up to push button, get reward. When you have their whole spy story thing. Now you can have things that go, oh, it's 1936. You know, Mein Führer or whatever. We feel you should do this spy operation. Here's your spies. Or the Führer wants you to, you know, however you want to role play it in the thing. Send a spy to start forming a network. Or maybe start in 1936 with a network fully developed in Austria. With a person sitting there in charge of it. As a starting element. Can't you freaking do that, people? And also, which you should have in 1936, also because it's already started, a Sudeten Deutsch. See, my events, and I coded the events for Austria when I started working with Hearts of Iron 4. I coded and I recoded the events for Czechoslovakia. And I would recode things differently now with this stuff. But they start in 36 for both countries. If you want to get these events to happen more, or, you know, the national focus. So I integrated the national focus so that, yeah, players could sort of know the roadmap. And so sometimes you hit a national focus that starts the events that you may not, you know, like, you want to demand the Sudeten land? Well, you know, you got to start that, you know, a year before and get there. It triggers events that happen. Now with this stuff, you could easily say, oh, well, you need to develop a network. I don't know if there's a check for it in events. I just haven't been paying attention to the coding. To go, oh, you need to have, you know, a level, you know, 60% or whatever it is. Let's see, we can click up here. 0% here. Network, I guess. Infiltrative civil administration cipher, whatever. I guess we've stopped that, but we had a network up here. You know, the percent of network down there, and start with some of the stuff. Or you have to have this and in this area to then fire these other events to then get this stuff. So you develop this thing, and okay, like I say, you need to have limitations. You need to, and as one of the design elements of Hearts of Iron 4 was you need to make choices. You can't have it all. And yeah, okay, you can't have it all right away. And maybe some of this stuff I pushed, like extra research slot, but they should have the KDF wagon by now, and maybe synthetic rubber by now, but I'm behind on Danziger War, behind because I haven't gotten the Anti-Comintern Pact, I haven't gotten Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. So in my opinion now, like expanding, now I did these, and these are pretty quick, but this is a bit longer. Now I haven't expanded dockyard facilities yet, or done the Z-Plan, or whatever effort. I don't think, because I don't know when the Ostwall was built, but it definitely existed. I don't know, like, when they expect us to align Romania and Hungary. Hungary should be sort of now. Romania should be 1940 or more kind of thing, a little bit later. And so some of these things, you know, should not maybe happen so soon. But air innovations, hell, that should have happened. But I haven't had time. I literally haven't had time to befriend Japan, befriend China. 70 freaking days. How am I supposed to do that? I mean, this is the new function here. I don't know if many people realize this. This is going to make Black Ice so much easier. With the Anslish focus, all Austria is forced to accept if historically accurate, but not with Spies, even if historically accurate, as they might just do something bonkers. Well, no, what I'm saying is, Lum, is say to have, let's zoom back in. They'll make that so much better. To be able to have this, what I'm saying is to be able to have this button come to green or whatever you want to call this color, to be able to be selected. I'm not saying get rid of the national focus. What I'm saying is to say, oh, you have to have a network established of 30% or whatever. I don't know. What are they calling it here? Let's go back to here. In Spy, prepare steel blueprint. Okay, you see more than support for Counter-Strike. Have a network strength of 70% is what this coordinated strike. Okay, say to be able to select the Anslish button, you have to have a network of 60% or something. I don't know what it should be. I mean, it should be fairly well established. Have that. Just have the network established. Not necessarily prepare a collaborationist government, but maybe prepare. So I'm just saying, okay, well, yeah, 50%. Have a network in existence to then fire Anslish or Demand Sudetenland or Fate of Czechoslovakia. Prepared some of that. Wrong mini rant above. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Because it's overly complex and forces massive change to the focus. Well, maybe not massive. It focuses good or bad players to waste spies on these small nations instead of sending somewhat important. Also, annexation process somewhat diplomatic. I mean, Sudetenland was practically given to the Germans because of Chamberlain's policies. The game shouldn't have force players a certain way if players don't. Okay, you sort of have a point, but you're also missing my point. Press button, get result. Press button, get result. Press button, get result. Hell, demanding the Sudetenland almost ended up in a freaking war. My version of it is when you demand the Sudetenland, you've had some events that happened before, but you demand the Sudetenland. You click this button. I don't remember if I shortened the days or not. I don't remember right now. But once it does, it goes boom. Then it fires an event. And that event has this chain of events. And there's, at one time, is press demand for the Sudetenland in the event. And they go, no, they refuse. Or you demand the Sudetenland. They refuse. Back down or press the demand. And then you have a chance at press the demand that it starts a war. You don't know. It may, now you can save it before and go back if you don't want the war, if you happen to get it. It's a small percent chance of getting the war with Austria, Britain, and France versus Germany. So there is a chance over the Sudetenland that a war will break out. There is no press button, get result. It's press button, start an event. The event might lead to war, might get your results. You might back down. You don't know. So there's some of that going on. Okay. That was my interpretation for the Sudetenland. There's a lot of stuff leading up to developments of it. So and I'm going to disagree over minor countries here, Ari. World War II is fought over Poland and Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia in that Hitler, all I want is this, basically. Yeah, technically this, as he says, and gets an agreement with that. And then takes the rest. That pisses everybody off. Then all I want is basically this, he says, not just the city, but the Danzig corridor. Starts the war. And so that starts the war. So it's the spy operations here that are the most important, that are here, here, and here. That is where they are the most important. That is what the focus. This is what the National Socialist state is focused on. So I disagree with your mini rant, I guess, maybe almost entirely. And so, but it should be set up with enough spies starting out. I mean, the idea that a major nation like Germany, like Italy, like France, like United Kingdom doesn't start with two or three spy slots just as de facto. Again, this is my other problem with Paradox Games, is they started everything at zero, and over time you got to build it up. What? Now, Crusader Kings or EU, you're sort of starting out with, Little England, or France, which is sort of Ile de Paris and this stuff, because you still have Bourbon, you have Normandy that's English, you have Aquitaine that's English controlled, you have all these other things that it's not this big nation yet. And so you're talking about pre-Renaissance kingdoms that are trying to move into more modern situations, and similarly things with Crusader Kings kind of situation, as well as EU. Now with Vicky, which I've barely touched, Vicky, you're starting out with the British Empire, the French Empire. It's starting out with all of that in existence, and I'm guessing you still have to start with tabula rasa, a blank slate, and add to it. But I don't know. But you shouldn't have to. And so you should start with these operations. And if you want to do other operations, yes, you can expand your spy infrastructure and get more stuff going, or whatnot. But the idea that isn't an already going thing. And now you could stop it and do other things, but now I just disagree. If you're going to have this mechanic, and I have to build up a network to prepare a collaborationist government, because, okay, I'm going to prepare a collaborationist government in the Netherlands, Belgium, Denmark, Norway. Ever hear of Quisling, anybody? Quisling. United Kingdom and France, before I freaking start the goddamn war. How many years is that going to take me? See, this is part of the point. How many years is it going to take me to establish 6 collaborationist governments? How many years is it going to take me to form 6 collaborationist governments? That is the problem with this mechanic as currently based. Most players like building up Germany and other major nations to have people they can enlist to give them more spy slots there, more mods to expand and get more. Yeah, okay, and this may be handed. I think because if you start with a lot of stuff going on, you already, not a lot of players have a great idea. Yeah, I get you there, Lum, but why the hell isn't Rudolf Hess a starting figure here? Now, you may want to swap him out for somebody else, but why isn't at least some of these factories starting? Now, they may start with, like, I don't know, Messerschmitt's a good starting, but Heinkel might also be, or Junkers or something like that, could be the starting one, and Falk-Wolf definitely comes later. More around 1940 or something, 40, 41, as it really becomes the dominant thing. So you might want to, you should have some of this stuff should be starting. Now, all the spy stuff going on all at once, I can see your point there, Lum. New players. But the idea that none of these figure slots, none of these research companies, none of these generals are starting. Why isn't Bloomberg starting as chief of the army? Why the hell not? I mean, he's not even here now. Now, then you have the scandal that removes them from it, and then you got to replace him. Yeah, but why isn't there that starting? Whether he's a good figure or bad figure, and this is also the a reason to have bad figures is some of them there at starting, and you want to remove them for the better leader. So yeah, I get your point, Lum, but it's yeah, and I get you're not saying it shouldn't be the option, but I even think for starting, first time players, the idea of having at least some of these slots filled is a it would not be any sort of overwhelming thing at all. Yeah, I get Ari making your own choices, and but the idea is what was there in 1936, and then you change it. You make your own choices. With it, I like within historical plausibility like that. Now, other people might want it within oh, I want a communist minister, or I want an anti-Hitlerite minister to overthrow the Hitler government and establish the Kaisers. Okay, yeah, that's fine for some players, and that's good. And I'm not against the idea of that being in the game. I just want first and foremost historically plausible things. So, Martin Bormann only comes around because rises up to power because Rudolf Hess does his flight to Britain. And so, but if now these both have the same damn stat, so it doesn't matter, just purely immersion here. But if you maybe change the stats a little bit, you might want to switch over from Rudolf Hess to Martin Bormann. If not just because of their name and personalities or something, but have traits that make them slightly different. And so making your own choices, I totally get that, and I'm all for that. If you want to have industrial capacity, or you want to have does not have why does painful. So I get the idea there, and I'm in agreement within the historically plausible realm, but that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be your own start, and that's what this is. This whole mechanic here, and I'll look at your chat in a minute, Ari and others. This whole mechanic here was the idea that you can't just min-max it, like just swap out one of these just as you start to research something, to make sure that your naval bombers have the best naval stat, and just constantly ping-ponging around between these things. That I get. I get more with here than I do here, but I totally, and especially changing out ministers is a disruption to government, and so I totally get that and support that idea. But that doesn't mean equally that there shouldn't be a starting ministership of something. What was that? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, but what I'm basically suggesting is I don't think there's anything wrong with newer players. There's a reason Hoi 4 is a bigger audience, more online than on 3D. That's because they made their game a lot simpler. Yeah, but this isn't a simplification, or a complication. Having a starting lineup. That's all on that point is just a starting lineup. And now here I'm suggesting having, which could actually be, the idea of having none of these at start and the idea that you're not already having operations, say, at start. I don't know, because I don't know. Maybe I'm all wrong. Maybe they're perfectly right. I know they're correct on the idea that this type of stuff, because they track how you play these. If you don't realize that, people, Paradox does track that, is that a lot of people like playing down these alternate history paths, and this is really popular. So much more popular. So yeah, Return of the Kaiser. I don't know, is there a communist path somewhere in here? But so a lot of that stuff, my ideas are less popular, but the idea of starting it I don't take as being bad. Also, you shouldn't be forced to use a system you don't want to. If people don't want to worry about spies, they shouldn't. Alright, and not sure. Okay. Oh, Brett. Oh, you're talking to Brett about stuff. Free powers. Oh, okay. Spiraling. Yes. Yes, Gamer had a bit of a meltdown, and I guess I'm talking about myself in the third person. I had a bit of a meltdown here, and now, of course, tying some of these, and what I'm really to a point saying is to tying these national focuses to some of the spy mechanics, especially creating the network element, should only come is if you have a lot of resistance in the stuff, I guess. I don't know. Okay, well, I think we're going to end this episode here. Not to end the chat just yet, but just we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank those of you watching later for watching, for liking the videos. You can have your comments. You know, I do value what you say. It doesn't necessarily going to change my opinion, but I do want to know what viewers think of all of this, viewers, players of the game, whatnot. So thanks, everyone. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.